In this video, I want to share how to actually get good at sound healing after your training. Because finishing a course, it's not the same as being ready. Most people who finish training believe they need more knowledge, more courses, more preparation before they're truly ready to practice. But confidence doesn't come from more knowledge. It comes from practice itself, even when it's imperfect. I know because after my own training in Nepal, I didn't wait until I felt ready. I came back to Phuket and started practicing with friends straight away. And that is exactly how Jungala Phuket began. In this video, I show you why theory alone destroys confidence. The exact sequence to follow when you start practicing, what to expect in the early stages, how momentum actually builds, and the one shift that changes everything. This is part 3 of our 5 video series on what it takes to become a confident, authentic sound healing practitioner. If you missed the first 2, go check them out. They cover why you don't need any experience to start and how to find training you can actually trust. You finish your training, you have the certificate, you learn the theory, and somehow still don't feel ready. So you do what feels responsible. You look for another course, another certificate, more knowledge, because surely that's what's missing. I understand that instinct completely, but more theory was never the answer. When I came back from Nepal, I did not sign up for another training. I did not wait until I feel like an expert. I took my singing bowls, started practicing with friends. The decision is what changed everything. Not because I suddenly knew more, I didn't. But because confidence does not come from knowledge. It comes from doing the thing even when you don't feel ready yet. That is the shift this entire video is about. Here's a pattern I see again and again. Someone finishes their training. They feel like they should be ready, but instead of practicing, they sign up for another course, then another. They tell themselves they are building more knowledge, getting more prepared. But here's what actually happens. The longer you stay in theory without practicing on real people, the more your confidence erodes, not builds. Each new course adds more information, but without practice, that information doesn't make you feel ready. It makes you feel like you still don't know enough. More theory was never the answer. It was just a more comfortable way to avoid the one thing that actually builds confidence, doing it. So if more courses aren't the answer, what is? There's a sequence, and the order matters. First, practice on yourself. Master the technique. Become the first receiver of your own practice. Before you can help someone else, you need to help yourself first. Second, move to family and friends. This takes the pressure off. You are practicing with people you know. People who will give you real, honest feedback without the weight of a paying client watching your every move. This is where you learn slowly, safely. Third, and only after that, move to paying clients. By this point, you have practiced the technique on yourself. You have built real feedback and confidence with people close to you, and you are ready for the next step. Skip the order and you skip the foundation that makes everything after it possible. Let me be honest with you about something most people don't expect. When you start practicing, it will feel uncomfortable, and that is completely normal. Think about learning to ride a bike. You can watch it with many videos as you want. You can't read every book. every tip, every trick on how to balance and pedal and steer, but none of that will ever teach you how to actually ride the bike. At some point, you have to get on that bike, and the first few times, you will lose your balance. You feel insecure. Maybe you even fall. That discomfort is not a sign that something is wrong. It is a sign that you are exactly where you are supposed to be. Moving from knowing the theory to actually building the skill. Sound healing works the same way. You can understand everything in theory, but your hands need to learn the technique. Your ear needs to learn the tone. And that only happens through repetition, through time, through showing up and practicing even when it feels unfamiliar. So when it feels uncomfortable in the beginning, don't take that as a sign to stop or to go back and take another course. Take it as a sign that you are doing exactly what you need to do. Going back to the bike, you don't need to ride it once and suddenly know how to ride forever. You get on it again and again. The first few times might feel like nothing is changing. You might lose your balance, just as you did before. But you keep going, and then without even noticing the exact moment happening, you are riding. Not perfectly, but you are riding. That is how skill in sound healing works too. Repetition, not perfection, is what builds it. This is exactly what happened for me. After Nepal, I came back to Phuket and started practicing with friends. I did not wait until I felt like an expert. I just kept practicing, session after session. And the results were immediate and strong. Friends of friends started coming. Demand grew faster than I expected. That growth came from repetition, not from waiting until I felt ready. So if you practice once and don't feel a dramatic shift, that does not mean it is not working. It means you are at the beginning of a process that compounds. Keep going, and at the same point, the progress arrives. And once it does, it builds on itself. So here is the real shift. It is not a big dramatic leap. It is simpler than that. Start small and build up slowly. That's it. You do not need to feel ready. You do not need every answer. You just need to stop preparing and start practicing. I believe this deeply. If you believe strongly in something and you fight for it, you can achieve everything. A healthy body, healthy mind. There are no limitations. The only thing standing between you and the practitioner you want to become is the decision to start small today. Instead of waiting for a feeling of readiness that will never fully arrive. You now understand that the practice, not more courses, is what actually builds your skill and confidence. But maybe you are still looking for a place to start or a clear foundation to build from. Ploy and I put together a free 60-minute sound healing and therapy masterclass. We walk you through the roots of Himalayan sound healing, the different types of bowls, and how to use each one effectively, and how to actually make healing sounds even if you never touched a ball in your life. You'll find the link below, and it's completely free to access. You now know that practice is the process, and you know exactly how to start. But even once you start practicing consistently, life has a way of pulling you back into the old routines, schedule, responsibility. That is where most people lose the practice. They just start building. That's what the next video is about. If you want to follow along with this series, make sure you subscribe. The next video is coming soon. See you in the next one.